This just in, the Fever hold on to win against the Sparks. 14 seconds left. Caitlin Clark, the rebound. Why are we showing that to you? Because that was her 10th rebound to go along with 10 dimes and 24 points for her second career triple-double as the Fever win 93-86. And they are rolling here in the second half of the year. Aaliyah Boston also cooked 24 and 14, also added 4 assists. How about Kelsey Mitchell? She has been playing an exceptional rate, 18 points. Also, Nilissa Smith, she didn't get talked about enough. She's come along, 13 points. For the Sparks, Erica Ayala, a quiet 16. Kia Nurse came off the bench, had some great shots from deep. Odyssey Sims been working really well, but it's not enough as the Fever win 93-86. Time now to welcome in CBS Sports WNBA analyst Erica Ayala. And Erica, what more can we say about Caitlin Clark? 24, 10, and 10, her second career triple-double. What stood out to you about the way she got this triple-double in your eyes?
For me, what I liked from Clark and quite honestly the Indiana Fever team is that even though they entered halftime with 11 turnovers, they were able to get that composure back, and they actually turned over Los Angeles, the Sparks, more turnovers than they had. So I love the composure that we're seeing. I love that this is a team that's still growing, and I think they're starting to figure out who their players are, who their go-to players are. Even when you have an Odyssey Sims that drops 20 points for a Sparks team that, has been struggling this season, Indiana found a way to win. They found their composure throughout this game, and I think that bodes well for them, knowing that they already punched their ticket to the playoffs.
It bodes well for them, right? Punching their ticket to the playoffs, but also handling the stress down in those clutch situations. And we got to talk about the three-headed monster of Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Caitlin Clark. They combined for 60 points in this game. What have you seen, or specifically in this game, what did you like about the way they executed to make sure everybody was clicking and getting their shots and also dishing out?
Well, for anyone that was listening to the broadcast, you heard that this backcourt has been the hottest thing in the WNBA since the Olympic break. And I do think that time together with this crew, that trio, as you mentioned, has been critical. We heard so many veterans, retired players, active players say that Caitlin Clark and likely the Indiana Fever were going to need time. It wasn't going to be instantaneous like your, instant coffee that you drink in the morning. No, we want this to be a nice Cuban coffee with a nice punch in there. And I think that's what we're seeing. It's not that this is not a talented team. You've got 2 back-to-back #1 picks. They just needed it to click. You've got the Rookie of the Month, Player of the Month in Caitlin Clark. You've got the Coach of the Month in Christy Sides, first ever in franchise history. Now, granted, I just want to point out that Stephanie White didn't have a chance to win Coach of the Month. The award just started in 2017, but things are starting to gel. This team needed time, and I do think that Indiana is one of the teams that benefited from the Olympic break, and you can see that in what they've been able to do on the court.
They look so much more refreshed, and there's so much more chemistry between the team, or with this team, compared to the first half of the season. I shortchanged the trio of Boston, Mitchell, and Clark by 6 points. They had 66 combined points. But when you look at the schedule coming up, Erica, they have the Lynx, they have the Dream, and they also have the Aces. So what are you expecting out of this Fever team that looks really confident as we head in to the postseason? It's going to be here before we know it.
Well, you have to think about the momentum of the team first. They got their 5th consecutive win. That's the most that they've had this season, the most that they've had in quite some time. So they're kind of feeling it, Chris. They're feeling it, and they also are playing some teams that, although they're at the top of the standings ahead of Indiana, at least when you look at Las Vegas, you look at the Minnesota Lynx in particular, the Indiana Fever have had some success against the teams that they're going to play. Now, the team that they have an offer that they're still looking to get a win against is, of course, the Las Vegas Aces. They'll have 2. Now, that's going to be tough. But what I like about this is, again, the Indiana Fever have already punched their ticket. They're starting to get that chemistry together. And so now this is a time where they can really start experimenting, pushing certain buttons. We've seen that Christy Sides has put a lot more faith into Lexi Hull. You mentioned Alyssa Smith. I love what Kelsey Mitchell is doing. And I mentioned Player of the Month. Even Mitchell herself admitted that she kind of wanted that Player of the Month. I love that. And I think it honestly could have gone either way. And the fact that we're talking about Indiana, the Indiana Fever, could have potentially had one of two or the top two candidates for Player of the Month tells me that they're really in some really good rhythm right now, and they're going to need that. I mentioned it earlier, I like that they're finding ways to win late in the game. Odyssey Sims got a really good steal on Caitlin Clark. She regained her composure. We know that Caitlin Clark can get a little bit upset, and listen, it hasn't stopped Diana Taurasi from being great. It hasn't stopped Skylar Diggins-Smith from being great, so it's not that I'm calling it a demerit, but I like that she was able to gather herself. The team was able to keep their composure, and I think with the combination of how they're playing, that they're gelling, the ball is moving freely, and that they have these teams that, yeah, they know they want to prove something against these teams going into the playoffs. I like this stretch for the Indiana Fever. They can experiment. They can do that freely before they get to the postseason.
Right, and one thing they know is they're making the playoffs, whether they lose these games or whether they win these games or lose them. But right now, they are one of the funnest teams to watch in the WNBA. You know, it's always fun talking to you, Erica. We appreciate the time.
Thank you.
And for our next game on CBS Sports Network, it's going to be the Liberty, the top team in the league, taking on the Dallas Wings, who have one of the most explosive offenses as of late, still trying to get on into the playoffs with that 8th seed. Tuesday, 8 Eastern, it's going down on CBS Sports Network.